You're listening to the Breaking Sound podcast, My Story, where we discover the full story behind the hottest emerging artists, their struggles, their successes, and what's next. My name is Cage Sanderson. Have you checked out our 24/7 digital radio station, BSR? If you love discovering new music first, make sure you download the app, which is linked below. This episode is sponsored by Spirit Airlines' Music for Miles program. More go now. Make sure you go check out the latest routes and low-cost fares at spirit.com today. We are also sponsored by Hype, the only worldwide official street-style fashion brand for clothing, bags, accessories, and more. Cab Ellis is a LA-based band with over 16,000 monthly listeners and over 100,000 combined streams. Since their inception last summer, they have performed as part of NPR's Tiny Desk contest On the Road and opened for fellow hip-hop artist Watsky. Their sound reminds you of why some of your favorite music was made by bands, combining the power and spirit of rock and roll and the lyricism of hip-hop. Let's find out their story. Cab Ellis, welcome to the show. Let's start at the beginning.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right. Can you guys introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah. I'm Connor.
My name is Matt.
Nice to see you guys.
You too.
All right. So we're going to get this right from the start. So are both of you guys from Boston?
No, I was born in Boston, the suburbs of Boston, not actually Boston, and moved to California. But
yeah, and I'm from Maryland.
Nice. Okay. All right. So what was it like for you guys growing up in the towns you're from?
Oh,
it's a big question for him.
Yeah, my town, I grew up in Hagerstown, which is like Western Maryland, super, super small town. So yeah, it was so much different from where I'm at right now. Just a lot of like farmland, gas stations, not like one street through the center of town. Like, yeah, pretty small. So much different.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good question too, because the Nighttime OCD record, like our first record as a band, a lot of that stuff is about that small town, like his relationship with, other people and just the scenery there. Like that it's a good question because I think that, influenced the record a lot,
It's kind of like the landscape for that record.
Yeah.
In a way. Cool. Very cool.
To that sentiment,
Very cool. So like growing up, what were you guys into as kids? Like, was music even one of the first thoughts or were there other interests?
I feel like both of us had other, we played sports and stuff. I was into Pokemon and all that,
Of course.
Video games and all that.
Got to.
But yeah, definitely other interests, but music can really take a priority in your life because it's pretty great.
For sure. When did the music, would you say, kind of like took hold of you? Was there like a song or an album or something where you're like, oh, I want to do this?
I think for me, I remember in 8th grade, I first heard Mac Miller. I heard Don't Mind If I Do from Kids. Like my friends were sending that to me on Facebook Message.
Heck yeah.
I was like, what is this? With the Firefly sample. And I was like, yeah, that's the first song I remember, like with hip hop specifically and rapping. That was the first song that really sparked something where my curiosity was piqued with that.
Dope. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great start. What about you?
I was gonna say, I feel like it's you kind of get grabbed into it because you meet so many people and stuff through music and like playing with people who are like 90 years old, playing super well, and people who just love and you want to talk about music with them and stuff like that. I think that's what really sucked me into it.
Would you say like the influences from like, say, okay, your friend sent you, that record and you're like, whoa, this is dope. Did you guys have friends that were very, had like a lot of musical tastes, and did that definitely influence you, that friend group?
Yeah, I think about like my brothers, that like a lot of the music I listened to was because of them too, like, Weezer and Sum 41 and all that. But that, that's a different conversation than, like you can get into some really nerdy music stuff, like, there's that type of music world too.
Heck yeah. It's all great. There's no wrong answer.
It's all, that's why it's all, everybody's type thing.
Totally. Your family, either one of you, like, was there any type of influence from them, or was there kind of like music? What's that? Like, that's not a big deal to us.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, both of my parents they had different tastes. Like my mom loved Motown. And I remember one of my earliest memories of music was the song Baby Love by the Supremes. When I was like 5 years old, I just have such a far back memory of my mom like playing that during the day when she was home by herself with me. So that's like a deep music memory just in me. And then rock music from my dad was, he used to blast it all the way up, be drumming on the steering wheel, it was that was it for me growing up from my parents.
Great. What a great mix.
Yeah, for me on that, for me I have two like no, because I have two more like distinct musical memories. Was seeing like a vocal choir for the first time and seeing like 12 people just in a huge church just singing in complete. That was crazy for me because like humans can make chords together and stuff. So good. And then that was the main, and marching bands and like school sports and stuff like that. I love those. I love learning those on instruments, when I was little.
Those are like in kind of impactful type first music experiences too. Those like really big, you like feel them like in your core kind of, right? Yeah, it's very interactive. Were there any, like, as a kid, would you say either one of you, like, were there struggles to sort of like find, though, like, what type of music, like, obviously you're both very influenced by a lot of a wide variety, which is fantastic. Was it kind of like, oh, did you ever feel once you started getting influenced by music though, like, oh, I have to pick a lane, like, like all the, I feel like, especially when you're a kid, it's like, oh, all my friends think, hip hop's cool, oop, I better like it, and I better not think alt's great, right?
I mean, I think I did have a moment with my dad where I was like, Dad, I think I like hip hop. And he was like, that's fine. Like, just because I was so used to like listening to rock, and I still loved rock. But when that, when I heard Mac Miller and started to really get into it, it just totally took over my life. And I don't know. I think there are so many different lanes, like what you just like listening to for leisure, what you're inspired by. There are so many different ways of listening. So I had all the different ways of listening that I didn't want to cut off,
Yeah, totally. Of course.
Yeah, that makes me think of that. It's, it's kind of an inevitable thing of being like a young musician, especially, or young anything, is that you have so many things thrown at you. And you want to learn from all of them, but and it's better with perspective, because you can look back and you go, oh, I checked out that album for 2 months and I thought I got so much out of it, but then now you're listening to it and it's, better, you learn more from it now. So it's you just have to, enjoy it, I think is the,
and it's
the
funny
thing.
You saying that, it actually makes me think, because I do it too, and I know a lot of people do that. It is interesting how you listen to an album and it's either impactful and then you can listen to it years later and not so much, or you listen to an album or a song, right? And you're like, and then years later you listen to it and you're like, dang, that hits me a different way.
There's memories associated with it too.
And having like life experiences can then change your perspective of something, right? When you like listen back, you're like, whoa, okay. I think that's a really,
that's what you want something to do, like timeless,
That's exactly, I think that's exactly what makes something timeless. So when it kind of shifts with your perspective and life. That's dope. At what point did you start like seriously writing, rapping, that whole thing?
I mean, for me, seriously, it was probably in maybe my senior year of high school, freshman year of college. Before then, I was just kind of like freestyling, like rapping for fun. And then I really started to like get into it.
When did you do the Alaska camp thing?
That was my sophomore year of college.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, but now we must know what about this Alaska camp.
Oh, it was it's called Sitka Fine Arts Camp. Great camp. It's they have like musicians and artists from all over the world who are teachers and counselors for 2 weeks of middle school and 2 weeks of high school, I think, just in the summer. So I did that one summer, and that was really impactful.
Very cool.
But yeah, that was right around when I was starting to want to transition into like playing piano and having live instruments and things.
Very cool. Very cool. Were you oh and obviously I want to get both of you, Connor, Matt, at any time you guys can just jump in and do this whole thing. There's not any order, obviously. But kind of along that thing, like of when the writing and all that began, you talk about piano, like for both of you,
Mhm.
were you guys self-taught musicians? Is this like, were there lessons ever involved?
I was crazy like lucky with all the teachers I had. I had one growing up when I was in fourth or fifth grade, and then I got a new one. He passed away, and then I got a new one, like a whole nother teacher who was just amazing. Like one of the first women to play in big bands in the I think kind of like 70s, 80s, and she was
amazing.
She was like 19 years old. The first one on like a big band tour, or not first one, but like a major, definitely breakthrough. She's Mary Fettig is her name. Mary Fettig.
This is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So and then I had other teachers too. Like I was definitely so like crazy lucky, like private teachers wise, because they can, I owe everything to them. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So teenager years, handling high school and like starting to love music.
Mhm.
Where did you evolve with like new music and artists and then like finding your craft?
Yeah.
Deep question.
I don't know. Yeah, because high school for me, I went to a private high school, like a church school. It was like an international boarding school. And I was in the church choir. And that was like, in addition to hip hop, that was the second time I really was like, whoa, I love this and I want to be good at this, but I wasn't good. I was really, really bad at it. And because it's such a specific form of singing.
Yes.
You gotta have your mouth in certain like shape to get the vowels. And I was like,
Right.
God, like, and we were like 16, so our voices would be cracking. All you want to do is hit the highest note. Like it doesn't matter. If you just hit it, then you're like, I'm good, So yeah, there was that. I had an electronic music phase, like EDM, so it was that hip hop, like everything. So I think in high school and especially growing up and as a teenager, a lot of it is you want to hop onto the fads and you want to, like what's current and like what's new and kind of evolve with the times. So yeah, I kind of took in everything and wanted to
Yeah.
as a teenager. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's cool. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I had like two sets of music, everything I did for my teachers basically. And then, EDM and then Dispatch, all that.
Oh, nice.
All that other
Yeah.
good stuff, good rap and all that. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of sticking with what my teachers told me to growing up,
Well, okay, gotta ask since we're still in these early years. And what is it? Is it straight Eggin? Is this
Straight
is
Eggin. Yeah. Yeah.
can you talk about it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't like to talk about that.
No. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the first rap name that I ever had. That was like the inception. And how it happened was I started in driver's ed class, because it was like me and three of my best friends, we were like 15. So like, we weren't quiet by any means. And we were so hyper. So they would always be like making beats on the desk and we'd be freestyling. And there was like a plastic egg in the class and super weird, but we like gave birth to it during one of the breaks, like gave birth to the egg. And we have a video of it. We were like obsessed with this egg. It was so stupid. But at the time we were like, God, this is like so funny. We love it. And then I started after that, just calling myself Straight Eggin. And you know,
so great.
that was like, yeah, kind of attached to all the joke rapping and like
of
the
course
freestyling, you know, where it started. Yeah.
Wow, and imagine if like TikTok and Instagram were really a thing, then that you would straight Eggin
Oh,
could have had its own
yeah,
account.
I
Blow
know.
up millions of
I know.
followers. The
Oh yeah.
memes, the
Such a
memes
brand.
alone.
Yeah.
It could
Eggin.
have been
You
everything.
should do that. You should run that for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I'll and then
We'll talk after.
we'll figure out the splits afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Did you guys ever perform at any like talent shows, or were you like, I don't know, doing karaoke any chance you could get, like performing anywhere you could in those early years?
We did karaoke last week.
Oh, yeah. Love karaoke.
We did karaoke last week in New York City. That was pretty fun. A lot of us were in Spanish though, so I wasn't getting them. But I'm more French.
No. Oh, okay. So French, not Spanish. Cool.
Wait.
Oh, low key. No big deal.
Just dropping that out.
No big
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. Talent shows.
Yeah, talent shows from an early age. I did I like to act. You know, I did Napoleon Dynamite. I did School of Rock, Blues Brothers. I did that like a billion times. I love the Blues Brothers.
He's an acting dude.
Soul Man.
This is amazing. Wow, you guys are, look at all the multi-talented.
I don't know how good it was. I mean, at the time, I don't know how good it was, but I loved it, you know.
Hey, like a big part of anything is just the passion for it.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes that trumps the talent. Who cares?
Yeah, definitely.
Dope. What did your like friends think when you started rapping and all that? Were they like encouraging as far as like, yeah, you are good? Like as far as, you know, or were they just like, yeah, you're our homie, so you're okay?
Yeah, probably more of that for sure. But it was just like fun, you know. It wasn't a thing at that point. We weren't like 15 and we're like, yo, this shit like for real, you know. We're gonna like we were just doing it, you know. Like we didn't think about the logistics of like actually, you know, making something of it. It was just it was fun. And like I said, we were so hyper, so we were just, you know,
it's an outlet.
Yeah, just an outlet. Exactly.
That's awesome. That's so cool. When you hit college at Emerson and you made a mixtape, what was it like getting all like the artists that were featured like on board, getting it produced? What was that whole process like?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get anything produced necessarily. Yeah, but it was I love that time because I wanted to do so many things and I was influenced by so many things. It was sort of a thing of like, I'd see somebody performing and I'd try to talk to them and be like, yo, I'll tailor whatever I'm doing to add you into it because I just, you know, want to have you be a part of it. And that was the thing that I still try to maintain, but that was really just a great period because I wanted to get everybody involved. So it was almost like a genre-less thing that I wanted to do because, you know, I'd hear trumpet, I'd hear like a gospel vocalist, you know, an a cappella group, and I just want that all. And I didn't know how, but I would just want to put it all in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it was a very fun time.
That's
very
awesome.
Fun time.
It's very creative and like that feeling of not having to be trapped in like, so, you know, say like when, you know, you are at a point of either you're working with a, you know, a producer or you're signed to something, right? It's like that freedom to, like you said, you're just inspired by a musician, an artist, and you're just like, yeah, I don't care what it is. It just makes me feel a certain way. So let's do something.
Yeah.
And this might be super random, but I feel like you get that from traveling too. Like we went to Europe and, you know, we're writing in every city just because it's so like your environment, you know? So that's what that made me think of is traveling can, there's stuff like that where you can just write freely, you know, without any daily agenda or, you know, something.
Heck yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. What was the just out of curiosity, like your majors in college?
Mine was acting.
Yeah. There's a guy who was like, I don't know if I was good.
I mean, that was 5th grade, you know,
so I progressed
a little bit.
Still, that's cool to be able to want to do that in college. Awesome.
Mine was like jazz studies and then I did kind of like a music industry law minor just to get some business stuff in there. I like that stuff too.
Some that insider intel.
Yeah. Yeah. Saxophone performance, basically.
Very cool. That's so rad. What was like a memory from college, whether music related or not, but do you have like some good memories from that time that kind of stick out?
Yeah.
They're all a blur. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's also a valid answer.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just seeing familiar faces, every kind of in the mornings when people are like grumpy and stuff like that, but just knowing and people who are, them personally, but you also know that they're crazy talented too. I think that's, and you kind of have that mutual respect between, that's at least that's kind of how I felt. Like, it's like, damn, that kid is prolific, but he's
doesn't even know it.
But he's cranky without his coffee bean, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Like me. Yeah. And not, I'm just cranky for my coffee bean, not the prolific part.
Yeah. I remember in Boston, like running a lot. I'd run to my classes and just like, because I'd be playing music in the 15-minute interval, and I'd run to classes, but also just the level at which I was listening to music all the time. And I'd like be on the street and would be like throwing my hands like that. You're just so in your own world. And I was so captured by music and wanting to do it at that point that I'd be listening on the street on my way to class and it would just fill my body up and you had so much energy. And sometimes I wouldn't even realize I'd be flailing my arms all over the place because I was, totally in my own world.
That's awesome. That's such a cool thing to be so like in it and connected to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you can block out everything else and be in your zone and like not even care if people are like looking at you like, what's wrong with this guy? It's like, doesn't matter. Yeah. That's so dope. That's rad. Yeah. That's rad. What's the inspiration behind the name Cab Ellis?
Honestly, I always say I wish it were a better story, but there's not much inspiration. I thought about it for a long, long time because I was like, all right, I got to change straight Eggin. Like, it's time.
You didn't like,
we gotta talk. It was time. Corporate, we got to change.
Yeah, the era was over. But no, it's just like a combination of Connor Abeles, to be honest. Like, Cab Ellis kind of a jumble of the words. That's the way I can describe it. No crazy inspiration, but I just started saying that and I liked it. I liked the way it popped. So
it's a dope name. It sounds, it's really is cool. And it's cool to say it's different. And
thanks.
Again, no right or wrong answer there. Who cares? I mean, it's simple, but that's cool. Boom, light bulb moment. That's awesome. What was the first show like as Cab Ellis?
Oh man. The first show I did, I remember me and one of my friends, we got in touch with this company out of Boston called Leeds Edutainment. They book a lot of the shows around there. And at first they were like, yeah, we got a show with Joel Ortiz, who's from Slaughterhouse, opening for him. I was like, oh my God. And they're like, yeah, you just got to sell 30 tickets at $30 a piece. And I was like, all right, word. Like, I know 30 people. And it was a 21 plus show. It was my first week at college. So probably sold 5 tickets, lost a ton of money, and played for 15 minutes. But it was like, you learn. And starting off, that was it for me. It's like, you pay to get some time opening for a professional artist. That's amazing, But looking back, maybe we should have thought it through a little more. But it was great. I mean, loved it.
Dope. That's great. So after college, how soon after college did the move to LA happen?
Well, I did my my spring senior semester out here. Emerson has a satellite campus. So I spent that out here, and that's where I met Fat. And so I moved out immediately after graduation in May, I think. But we had already started kind of formulating things to transition to a band. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So did you both move kind of around that same time though? Or were you already, did you do that?
He was already
here. Yeah, so I went to USC, so I was out here for 4 years, and then I just this is my first apartment out, Yeah.
Oh dang, great. Yeah. That's awesome. What are the like memories of, so you did college in LA, so I'm sure you've got some of them still early years. And Connor, like what was kind of your early memories of the people when you got to LA and more in the music scene?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't doing a ton of shows until I met them. But that was what kept me in LA is I met him and I was like, can you get a band together? And he was like, yeah, for sure. So
I'm your guy.
But yeah, he was my guy, And so that was my first introduction, was getting introduced to all these insane musicians who just went to school with him. And yeah, playing with them.
Yeah, it kicked it off. It got it started. There's been weeds,
of course.
I got it like anything else. It's it's been a little bit, but that was a good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We wore suits for our first show.
Wait, what? I need how did that even come about? Because I see the way you got, I'm like, I picture like the aesthetic has always been like the hoodies, the black shirt. It's like, hold on, you can't just drop that. I need to know why suits.
Oh, when we go out, we wear nice suits too.
Yeah, we like to get dressed up.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Oh my god,
I still can't tie a tie, but we can make it work.
We'll let you pass. It's all good.
Yeah. But I think that first real gig with the band together was at the Silver Lake Lounge. No, State Social.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we had to pay for our own beers and stuff, but it was a good time. We wore like suits. Everyone was like eating their like pasta, just like And then, but one thing we kind of talk about is that everyone would like turn around, Yeah. But just even in that first concert, because
it was cool.
Yeah, it's fun time.
That's awesome. And then is the suits, I just have to now know we're on this subject.
Yeah.
Is that part of the stage aesthetic? I can't believe if I don't know this already.
I mean, sometimes we're always trying to figure it out. I think it's ever evolving because there's a piece of us that we love the old rock aesthetic, like the 60s, and just the old music aesthetic in general, where it's very professional. You wear suits. That's just what you do, so we do that sometimes. And we also try to blend and mix it up. But I feel like we're always trying to figure that out. Should we have an aesthetic or should we just do whatever we want?
Genreless there, just like the music, whatever.
Yeah. So
but it changes with the season.
Yeah,
right.
It changes as you get older and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys, you've made some headway, like performing at Troubadour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whisky a Go-Go, Lodge Room.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you guys are on stage together and like rocking out to the crowd, is it kind of like, Connor, when you're talking about in college and you're just in the zone, do you guys get in that zone on the stage, or are you feeding totally off the crowd? Like, what's your guys' vibe when you're playing?
Well, in no way similarly to college, I usually like kind of black out on stage.
Yeah.
That was a zing. That's kind of what happens. Like it depends on the show, but for the most part, I feel like you kind of go, at least for me, because you're always for horn stuff, you're always trying to just have your sound be really good, because you know all the parts and stuff like that, but you like, and you have to focus on that 100% of the time,
right.
Just for the whole band, for it to all sound good. Yeah.
I think we all always sort of talk about that. It's just not remembering playing the song.
It goes by so quick,
And
totally.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And
there's some way about, if you're so focused on yourself, you can kind of feel all the guys doing that with you,
Of course.
We look around, we know we're all right, let's hit it.
For sure. That's nice. Awesome. Have you guys developed any crazy fans yet? At that point?
I mean, yeah, we got we got some people that, you know, are regulars.
Are you counting them out right here? It's like, I'm running out of hands, dude.
Yeah.
Multiply by 5. Got it.
Yeah. But we definitely have people that, you know, will come to our shows multiple times and a couple of diehards.
Yeah.
We got all those like plays from Australia and stuff like that. There might be some some Abeles fanatics over there.
So for now, everybody just seems like a real dedicated fan.
Yeah.
That's our hope.
Let's talk about when you're chosen for the NPR's Tiny Desk on the road, right? That feature. Yeah. How was that experience and traveling with Watsky and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, so NPR was amazing, you know. We had applied the year before with a song that we shot last minute. That's where I met him, actually. Yeah. Shot it on a phone, you know, we didn't get in. And then we decided to re-enter with a song we had called Flashback. And I remember we were traveling in Europe at the time, and we got an email from them that said, we're going to do a tour, you know, because usually they just do the one show. And we're like, oh man, I guess we didn't make it before we got this email. And they're like, we want you to be a part of it, of the Los Angeles leg. And we were, I cried. I always talk about this because it was a great moment, you know.
Heck yeah.
Started crying in the airplane. And I was like, God, like, this is so sick to actually like want to do something. And, you know, maybe it doesn't turn out exactly as you want it, but to just be recognized, just to have people you respect like what you're doing and notice what you're doing was so big, you know. And so getting there and just being a part of it, the Lodge Room is obviously a great venue.
Right.
We got to meet Bob Boylan, you know, who's like, that was great. And he was like, nice to meet you guys. You know?
You're like, what?
I was like, yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, I have to run to the restroom.
Nice to meet you.
Gotta take this call. Hold on, here.
Yeah, straight up. But that was just great, you know.
Oh yeah.
Such a great day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and with Watsky, that was sort of a eyed open for him when I first was rapping at Emerson, like my sophomore year, you know, so I kind of knew him for a little bit. He gave me that opportunity, which was great, and kind of like mentored me and was just there to listen to any music I sent him. And anytime he had a slot, he would put us on. So that was,
that's so rad
for me when I was starting. And so I played one show by myself rapping, and then we played one a couple years later in San Luis Obispo, which was great.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other like kind of, would you say, funny stories from times like opening those shows for him? And
you had
come on.
It'll be illegal to tell on this.
It's fine.
It's a podcast. We can edit it if it's too much.
Well, the first story I'll tell, the first time I opened for him, I had 15 minutes. He was like, all right, man, like it was at the House of Blues. I had like asked him, I was like, if you have any time, like, can I do it? And he was like, all right, we got 15 minutes at the top of the show. You can do it. And I was like, oh my God. So I had told my friend who was DJing, I was like, all right, I'm going to crowd surf. I'm going to stage dive at this song at this exact moment. And people were just getting in. You know, they didn't know who I was at all. I was the first person on stage, and there was like a 6-foot like barricade, and then there was the bar, and then there was the audience. So it was a far jump. And then I just the moment hit, and I just went for it without any warning, and I bulldozed a couple people. And I remember I did it again because I was like, you're so like goal oriented when you're like younger, you know. It was like, all right, if I just do it, like you're not worrying about the performance necessarily. You just have this thing in your head and you just want to do it.
You still do that now.
I still do that.
Not that, but that's my next story.
Yeah. But yeah, I did it again. And I was like, I'm not going to go again. Like trying to. And then I did again, and they caught me. And I saw Watsky after the show, and he just kind of like nodded his head at me. And I was like, had to go for it, and he like didn't say anything, but it
Because
was
I need a story for later.
yeah, straight up, straight up. But I'll always remember that, you know.
Oh my
I know what
gosh,
that
Brad.
I got two. One of them is seeing, we played San Luis Obispo,
Yeah.
and a lot of my college, well, a lot of my friends go to college there at Cal Poly, and Cal SLO, and just seeing one of my best friends growing up freestyle rap with Connor was pretty sick. Just because, you know, Connor's kind of been my best friend for, you know, the college years, and my
Heck yeah.
childhood best friend. Just free, they were just go, you know, after a few, whatever the libations, whatever the word is, but and then another was like at one of our shows, I think it was the Viper Room. Connor like took a water bottle and was just going. It was water whipped. Yeah, water whipped. Yeah, we went pretty crazy like we really played that show. And Connor was like water whipping all these people. And this lady, she wouldn't watch this, but yeah. This lady like came up to Connor. She was like,
I know
she was like, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, what she said? Like,
she said, and
everyone was having such a good time. You know?
She approached me after the show, and I was like, oh my God, like this fan, like, and she was like, excuse me. And I was like, oh yeah, what's up? And she's like, just want to let you know that it's really disrespectful to throw water in people's faces. And I was kind of taken aback. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She was like, you got water in my eyes. And granted, I used like a big water bottle. I didn't.
He really went for it.
He probably
went for it.
It probably all landed on her too.
But that was pretty classic.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're like, next time, just don't, not front row. I just don't think maybe that's your deal.
Splash
yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. So 2020, it was a crazy year for everybody. How did it affect you guys in the music and everything you're working on?
I mean, you know, it's pretty crazy. You know, not playing live is a big part of what any musicians do, and but you know, we kind of made a goal at the beginning of the pandemic to make an album, and so we're, you know, working on stuff and making progress, and but it definitely sucks that we can't play live, really, you know.
Totally.
But you know, I guess that time, you know, most of COVID has hopefully passed, you know. But so
it's
a weird time.
It is. I remember that was like from the get-go. It was like, all right, if it's indefinite as to when the shows are going to come back, we should just try to get better and try to refine ourselves more and try to get at our identity. And I think that's what we're doing, and that's what we've done, and that's what we hope comes through with this next album. And also just, you know, it's hard to keep 5 people together to begin with. And in a time where, you know, you need all 5 people to progress physically in the same space, that's tough, you know? And it's not a given. And so for everybody to kind of be on board with that, you know, has been a big thing. And I think kind of strengthens, you know, what we'll hopefully be able to do after, you know, come back.
Are you guys able to, like, was there a point where when in the collaboration process on the album, are you guys like doing things over Zoom, or are you all close enough, like you're able to at least work in a studio together? Like how's kind of that dynamic on that creative side?
Yeah, I mean, Fat and I lived together, and then initially we were all keeping our circles very tight. So we were kind of within each other's circles.
Right.
You know, we were, of course, a lot more cautious, but still met up like outside in parks and things like that.
Yeah.
And our drummer actually moved to South Carolina for what was going to be a couple months. But he ended up staying there. And so we had to find a new drummer. So yeah, that's just the main thing. You know?
Been a process.
Yeah. People are deciding things, you know, and that's got to be expected, but definitely, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially, and you guys see it, especially with so many friends, and all of us know so many people in the music industry and all facets of it. It's like you never kind of you're in it, right? And like all of us, and we think, oh, it's going to be this, and you have these things and these career goals, and then it's like you kind of don't realize, like we do work in an industry where like it's just takes that one thing and like total life shifts of like people, like you're saying, like your drummer moving away, then you're like, are you going to move back? And then you're
Right.
trying to find the new people. And there's a lot of the unknown. You can't even almost think to the future. So it's like this floating limbo space, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Especially with, when you don't have, or less so of just in a crowded group of people, you can't like work your way, just in big crowds. I think we miss that in general too. Just that almost like release or just like dynamic of being in big crowds of people. You don't get that anymore.
Yeah, it's an energy. Like humans, we all do feed off it. Even if it can get overwhelming, it's like it's still like, okay, I'll be in the corner, but like I still want to people watch. It's like kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Hopefully it's all getting better, hopefully.
Yeah. Is there a name for the new album yet?
I'll tell you. It's called The East Coast Hold On.
Oh, dope.
Tentative name right now.
Okay.
You're the first person to hear it. So
that like makes my week. That's dope. And I love the name. That's a great title. Great. Wow.
Is there name right now.
Is there gonna be any of that more of the that genre-less mixtape feel going on, or is there a little bit more of a theme on this project?
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of everything,
Yeah.
We've been working on new sort of sounds, but there will be some loop geared songs, more hip hop geared songs, structure wise. And then it's going to be a lot more guitar driven as opposed to piano driven.
Nice.
Kind of was. But yeah, we hope a mixture of everything that we've ever done and onward,
Yeah, I think with that guitar, we're just thinking it's going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, louder.
Yeah, a lot bigger.
Louder.
Of course. Awesome. Oh my, well, I'm pretty stoked to hear that whenever it drops, whenever we're all able to check it out. Like, I know it's going to be very dope. Like just talking with you guys, I'm like, okay. I think this is going to be a good one. Like, I'm excited to check it out for real. What is coming up then, like for this year, like for Abeles? Like, is it just pretty much for the rest of 2021, just nailing down this project, right? And then kind of go from there. Do you have a couple other things on the horizon?
Yeah. We're working on some music videos this summer for some of the songs off Nighttime OCD, which we hope to get done.
Yeah.
Those will be fun.
Yeah. And then August, hopefully, is when we're planning to go and record the album. And we'll see about the release, if all that goes according to plan, we hope to at least have it recorded.
Because you still have some projects with Nighttime OCD, right? Kind of tied in, like you said, the music videos. So get that going, and then 2022.
Kind of have a listening party if all is okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Dope.
Invited.
Oh yeah. We'll send
hello, please do.
Oh, yeah.
We will be there.
Yeah.
Down. Not even kidding. Heck yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm like something to look forward to. Who knows when it's gonna happen, but now I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
We can all use that right now. So thanks. This is rad. Well, guys, Connor, Matt, this has been really fun. This is a great interview. I feel like I've known you guys now. It's like it's been very chill and very fun. And looking forward to the new project, looking forward to those music videos for the current project, Nighttime OCD.
I'm looking forward to seeing them too.
And and all of the good stuff. So thank you guys for your time, and
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. This episode of Breaking Sound, My Story, was made by editing help from our in-house editing team. Did you know this episode was filmed also? Watch it on our official BSTV channel. Our Breaking Sound, My Story podcast is just a small part of how we support emerging artists. Discover more at www.breakingsound.com. To support our podcast, you can get a Breaking Sound My Story t-shirt by visiting breakingsound.com/merch. You can also follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Breaking Sound Podcast. My name is Cage Sanderson. Thanks for listening.